Okay, morning everyone. Welcome to the recorded briefing on Saturday the 3rd of June. It's 7:30 in the morning, so some of the data hasn't refreshed just yet, but I think you'll get a gist of what's actually going to happen today. Essentially, a number of things haven't changed in the last week or so, but the position of this high and the air mass is always slightly different day on day. What we can see here is that essentially the high pressures stayed almost at the same place, but it's feeding in easterly winds, and it really depends on the track of where the air has come from over quite a distance as to what sort of conditions we're going to get. There's a level of stability in there that dictates how good it's going to be. As I say, also the factor is going to be how close the sort of spacing on the isobars are. We've been quite lucky. It's been fairly windy over northern France for the last week or so, and we've just been on the sort of edge of that. So it's been breezy, but not too bad. High pressure obviously means fairly stable. What you can see out the window at the moment is a bit of cloud, but that's just trapped under an inversion. It's early in the morning cloud, and that will burn off as the day goes on. No Farnborough Taff at this time in the morning, but Gatwick tells you most things you want to know. 0509 knots. That's probably about that now out there. Broken at 900 feet, which is what we have more or less. Becoming mid-morning before 10 o'clock, hopefully scattered at 2.5. It's lifting up, breaking up. And Heathrow is the same sort of picture, and they're eventually giving few at 3,000 feet. I think it might be a little bit higher than that today, but certainly a reasonable day. Upper winds, and it's split between the two boxes really. Here the winds are sort of suggesting over northern France 20-25 knots from more or less easterly 080. Middle of the UK 060, 10 knots, so we're sort of thinking 15 knots in between around us somewhere. From I think about 070, it might go a little bit more direct easterly later in the day. At the moment, the sat pic shows this Wodger cloud sat over us. As I say, it's just sat under the inversion. As the temperatures and the sun gets up, it'll burn this off as the morning goes on, and then it will turn into sort of low cumulus and then disappear for a bit, I think, before we get some real cumulus. Temperature wise, perhaps a bit warmer than yesterday. 20-21 degrees in the south here, quite pleasant, and dew points are around about 8s or 9s now, so about there today. Is a reasonable split of dew point and temperature, about 12 degrees. And if you then sort of play with these with the soundings, that's midday 1 o'clock around Lasham, and a temperature of 18-19 degrees. I would think we're going to see, looking at this, dew points around there. Cumulus at about 4,000 feet above sea level, maybe a little bit above that. Cloud tops, it's only small amounts of cumulus. Cloud tops only about 5,000 feet, so very small amount of Q. And in the afternoon, lines have moved apart a little bit. Dew points perhaps a little bit lower, temperatures a bit higher, so even smaller amounts of cumulus, but a little bit higher. Small amounts of Q at 4.5 around Lasham, and quite a chunk of the south of the UK has got small amounts of Q for most of the day. Top Meteo is suggesting this is the sort of low cloud first thing in the morning, and then you move that on a couple of hours. By sort of 11-12 o'clock, we've got cumulus developing here. It's suggesting blue out to the far west towards Bristol, and that seems to be the picture all day. And both Top Medio and Sky Sight seem to agree. So by 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, cumulus right down to the West Country. Chance of spread out in Cambridgeshire. I think that may be due to the fact closer to the sort of North Sea air might affect it slightly here. And we should have soaring hopefully till sort of 7 o'clock tonight with a bit of luck. Right, thermal heights. So by 1 o'clock, over 3,000 feet, 3,500 feet above Lasham. And then by 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, they're saying 1,500 meters here, so 4,500 feet around here, and about the same down into the West Country and perhaps north to Oxford and beyond. So yeah, quite good. It seems to be the best area is around Lasham and down to the southwest of us, down this way. And they're saying it's going to be good into Cambridgeshire. Well, we'll see on that one. Not quite convinced on that. And Sky Sight are suggesting the same sort of thing. Let's have to reload. Their potential flight distance. Today was a similar sort of picture down to the southwest, 300 to 400k, and they're also saying it's going to be quite nice in East Anglia. And thermal heights were similar, 4 to 4,500 feet, and they're also showing cumulus in here. Okay, so nice day, but this has got to burn off first. And we'll certainly get a comp day out of it. Airspace wise, lots of local bits and pieces, just fly pasts and various things going on. 18 is Lasham. The only restricted airspace is all the way down here in Torbay, and there's nothing really of any note. Most things that the little spots that you see are the Battle of Britain Memorial flight floating around at various times during the day. Okay, so fairly quiet, and the comp briefing will be at 10 o'clock. So if you wanted to go and have a listen to where they're going, I suggest you go and do that as well. Get a full heads up on airspace that's relevant to them. Operationally, bit of a rerun of the last 7 days, really. Comp will be on the runway here and then launch when it's good enough to go. We'll have a club operation here, launching 09 and landing either in here or down here. Just be aware, lots of cars traveling across here and around the bottom, so keep a good look out. It is fairly busy, so those are the usual warnings on the comp operation. When we start to get finishers, we generally close the club operation down while there's mass finishers, and they'll land generally either side or on the main runway and land along and go to the end. Okay, folks, so we'll have the normal get the gliders out about 9-ish and get going hopefully when the weather gets a bit better.